Women be watching films.
What?
I be watching films too.
What's behind the women be watching films though? Who's the woman who's be watching films?
I mean,
the women. It's just the women.
It's just the women.
Yeah, women be watching films. It's true. Like Singing in the Rain. That's a film that's be watching.
Yeah, you know that I was enamored because we watched that for the film club.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
Got to see it on the big screen, and it was just fantastic.
That's pretty
cute. All those
cute.
Zoomers were like, "Wow, this is what
this
the movies
is what film
are like.
Could be." Yeah,
this is what the movies are for. You know, I'm just like, cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is what the movies are for. And then next week, I'm gonna shock them with "Evil Does Not Exist."
When are you gonna do "I Am Cuba"? You gotta.
I was thinking I need to, once I acquire that from Criterion, I'll probably. Is it under an hour and a half?
I don't know.
What's the length of "I Am Cuba"?
If it's
because I usually try to fit it within 2 days, so it has to be less than 100 minutes. 141 minutes for "I Am Cuba."
That's a few more minutes than.
It's a few more minutes than the movie club is allotted. But I feel like if we stretch it across 3 days, then I can be like, "Hey, I Am Cuba," and then I'll tag. Which one is it? Phil Lord.
Yeah.
Phil Lord. Yeah, I'll tag Phil Lord and be like, "Yo, so for movie club, we're doing "I Am Cuba," and then just leave it.
I'd be really upset. It was mentioned on something I was listening to recently, and I'm like, I gotta watch that. You know?
Yeah.
Gotta hop onto the Internet Archive.
Just randomly tag Phil Lord every time I'm doing a movie club.
Hey
Phil Lord. Next Phil week Lord. We're watching "Evil Does Not Exist."
You link the Letterboxd review on your Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever, and you also at Phil Lord like, hey, I watched this.
Phil Lord, did you check
piece
this
of
out?
Shit. Hey fucker. Hey fucker.
Hey you fucking piece of shit. I watched The Holdovers with my coworkers. Stupid.
It was kind of magical, but in a way that I forgot there was magic in the world.
I watched Polar Express with my family. I
know a guy who still gets royalties from that movie.
Oh, really?
Was he the autistic kid that loves trains?
No, he
was he Tom Hanks?
Yeah, my friend Tom.
The guy who played the train?
My friend Tom, yeah. There we go.
My friend Tom is good. It would be so weird to call Tom Hanks Tom.
There's only 4 people in that movie, so I mean, narrowing it down won't take that much time. Welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. We are back again. We're catching up to things from 2025. Last week we did movies. This week we're doing comics. So the deal is we each gave each other a comic to read as homework. These have to be comics that came out in 2025. And you didn't have to have read them, but... the point is that the others shouldn't have already experienced it, which is going to be a funny case in today's episode. I'm with my co-hosts again, Keigen, Salt. You guys ready to talk about comics?
Pretty much always.
I need to get something out of the way.
Okay, wow.
I'm clearing so the air. I'm so
clearing the room.
For whatever you have to say. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yeah. You keep baiting. When you talk about assigning homework, I need to get this out there that I was a terrible student in school.
Oh, okay.
Totally unexpected, Saul. I never would have thought.
Never would have guessed it.
What I'm saying is there's a difference between me starting a comic and giving up on it versus me not having enough time to read the comics.
So you pulled a. So what you're saying is we are here to expect Assault Classic yet again.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
So
one is putting the comic down because it's annoying. And the other one is I just couldn't manage my time right.
Okay. Honestly, if the second one is the book that I'm thinking it is, it's gonna be really fucking funny when we get to it.
Either way, it's funny. It's funny on all of the. I love these people. This is what I'm here for.
All right, well, let's introduce our audience to these comics that we're going to be talking about, and also why we chose them. Because honestly, this week
we choose some of these?
You know, I was thinking about that actually while I was reading.
I had
a selection.
I was reading all three, and I was like, you know what? There's homework for multiple different ages. You know, sometimes kindergartners get homework. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, high schoolers are expected to get homework. It's all over. It's all over the place, and that's, you know, some of this homework I feel like should be coloring books, and I would enjoy it more.
You know, I asked my 7-year-old cousin the other day if he got homework, and he said no.
Damn.
And in that moment, I envied him.
That's cool.
You know,
you did this to yourself, though.
What if your 7-year-old cousin is like me and like just has this reality distortion field around his skull, and like he does have homework, but he's under the impression he doesn't?
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's like, it's the same shit every week. Cool addition, you know? Multiplication. Fuck this
kind
shit.
Of cool. It's very punk rock, you know.
All right. In that case, Salt, I think you should introduce your pick first. What did you make us read for homework?
I let you read Mothra, Queen of the Monsters by Sophie Campbell and Matt Frank.
Friends of the pod. Well, friends, possibly. Matt Frank, come on the pod.
It's a oomph situation.
Yeah, oomph.
Yeah.
That's oomph and oomph.
Yeah.
And the main reason I picked this book is I didn't really read any comics last year that weren't already for the pod, and this is the comic I owned, so it was a slam dunk of a choice.
Incredible. Keigen, what did you choose for us? What did you force? Actually, this one's more of a force. I feel like Salt's was he chose that with grace in his heart. Yours, it feels there's like a bit of malice.
It was hostile.
Yeah, a bit of hostility there.
This is a mean college assignment is what it was. Yeah. I chose Assorted Crisis Events, the hit 2025 comic by Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadzki. This is
some are calling it the Good Asian of 2025.
Some are calling it that. Some are calling it the Good Asian of 2025. And I will explain myself because I also do want to stand on business a little bit, just for like 3 seconds for this comic because
You're gonna lean on business.
I don't think it's a bad comic, but it is the Good Asian of 2025. There's a line there, but I picked it because I have talked some shit about it. I don't think we could ever get an entire episode out of that book. At least not a meaningful one. And there's not really any point in ever pitching it as a book. So this was like the time to do it, to talk about it. So that's why I picked Assorted Crisis Events.
Okay. And my pick. So here's the thing. Much like Salt, actually, there wasn't really much that I was reading outside of what I was reading for the podcast, as well as whatever was already on my pull list. And so, you know, like stuff on my pull list that I could subject you guys to, you had already read for the pod, you know, like Ultimate Universe stuff you'd already read. And I wasn't going to make you guys read Imperial. And Thor, we'd already covered that as well. So, you know, like nothing from my pull list. So I opted to go with something that I was thinking about and hadn't read, actually. So this is a first time read for me as well. So I also didn't realize that it's not done yet.
That was why I asked if you had read it yet, because I was like, I think Lan thinks this is a 4-issue mini, and unfortunately, it's Spider-Man, which means it got more than 4 issues.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: J.M. DeMatte, the writer of Spider-Man 94, which is the comic that I chose, has done multiple Spider-Man minis in recent years. Those were 4-issue minis.
See, I was thinking of the Magneto one, which I think
the Magneto one was also 4-issue minis, and also those are all different beasts compared to this one. Like,
a whole different thing.
Just on every front. I'm not saying I regret choosing it, but I am finding myself wondering why I didn't read more comics last year. I think that's how I'd put it.
That's funny.
I read this specifically because I had read all those other J.M. DeMatte comics, and I liked them. But I made the conscious decision not to read this one because I hadn't seen the original Spider-Man the 90s one specifically. I had actually seen the 60s one for some reason. So I hadn't seen the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, so I had no attachment there. So I didn't choose to pick it up. And second, the art, which we'll get to. But I did ask you guys if you had experience with the 90s cartoon. And Keigen, you said you didn't. And Salt, you said you did.
Yeah.
How much do you remember of that cartoon?
I remember a little bit. I mean, I think it was probably one of the first pieces of television media to introduce me to the concept of a crossover. I wasn't invested in the show a lot, but I would watch cartoons when they would come on, and I remember there was a crossover with War Machine, and that seemed really special when I was a little kid. I remember the animation being pretty janky, but I remember the designs were fine. I think those influenced a lot of looks for the characters. I had a few toys from the show, but I never had any sort of nostalgia for it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
this is designed for the version of me who was shut up. This was designed. I don't know why I turned Russian when I yelled at him.
The voice of Salt is being pursued.
The veneer went down. Sorry, guys. Sorry you had to find out this way. Salt actually is in San Francisco.
Moscow.
But I have a friend who is really big on the cartoon. I haven't spoken to him in years, and there is a version of me that's meant to soy face at this comic. I hate this book so much, man. This is part of the starter kit with you're still waxing your mustache. You have a Harry Potter tattoo. This is cringe.
Okay.
It's kind of an evil comic. I think I'm happy to agree there.
Yeah, I'm happy to have not picked this up, is what I'm realizing. So on that note, which one do we want to start with first?
We could go in the order we introduced our books in. So
sure. Salt, you helm your book.
Cool. Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, 5-issue mini that came out last year. Probably won't be too much to say, and that's not indicative of the quality of the book. It's terrific, but it's a quick read, really, really quick read. This is very much in line with all the other appearances of Mothra, where she dies at the beginning and is reborn. With this rebirth, though, our protagonists they travel back in time to capture and raise a prehistoric Mothra Gemini, and they use her they train her to defeat Mega Guirus in the present. So there's some time travel shenanigans. There's a lot of new villains, like Antra and her twins. I got just a couple other notes, but before I continue, how did you guys like it? What stood out to you?
Well, I had already read this, so you failed in that regard in giving us homework.
I told you I was a bad student.
And a bad teacher, apparently.
Bad teacher, too, yeah. I don't want to be the kid who cheats in class.
Not in the sicko way.
My illiteracy is what should keep me away from schools. Nothing else.
Yeah. I don't qualify. That's all. That's it.
That's
it's
it,
not
guys.
anything else.
I'm under the reading comprehension line, guys. Listen.
I'm just being honest.
They put me on a map and there's pins on it, but it's just because I read bad.
They put me aside every time they take me to the DMV. I don't know why. Yeah, so this was a reread for me. But the thing is, last time I had broken it up because I had read this for the Read Pal episode that we did, because this is one of the things that were on my pull list that I was pretty lax about actually keeping up with. So this time I actually got to read it all in one go, which actually did make for a better reading.
It does read better that way.
Mm-hmm. It reads much better as like a contiguous book than it did having to wait like 5. I think it might have been delayed a month too, so like 6 months. Yeah.
What about you, Keigen?
I think I bought the first 2 issues. I bought the first issue thinking that it was Sophie on art, and then it immediately became my excuse to like not read the book because I read a lot of bullshit, and I was like, I'll read it in a trade or something. I'll get to it. Which good job, Salt. This is a really good homework assignment for me because I was planning on reading this one anyway. So thank you. So yeah, I actually don't know if I bought the second issue at my comic shop or not. I think there's still issues at the shop, so I could probably go buy the single issues now. But somebody already paid for them in the shop, so it's fine. Those comics got bought from IDW standpoint anyway. So yeah, this is great. This is super fun. The art is fantastic. Like I really was being a dumb whiny baby, dropping it just because it wasn't Sophie on art.
But we do still get some bits of Sophie on art, which are
right, a little bit
nice,
a little bit. But I honestly I don't think it like bumps up the quality of the book. I think it would be fine if she didn't write. Plus, I mean, with Supergirl, I'm getting her art every month anyway, so it's like, yeah, it's fine. This is cool. The monsters look so good. Like that issue 4 where we get the like all the fights against the different monsters is so cool, so fun. And I mean, yeah, it's not deep, you know. It ain't deep. It's a monster book. But in that way too, it's like it's a rad comic. I think like kaiju stuff works really well for comics because it's as long as you have a strong artist anyway, and that this book does. So it's rad. It's super fun.
Yeah, similarly, most of my notes are about the art because it is meant to be such a breezy read. And I have a lot of Matt's older work. Matt has always been good at drawing monsters. In this book in particular, though, he's switched up his style. I think I really like how his blacks have a lot more variation from like thick to thin. Everything feels more dynamic. So he's better at monsters. He was already great to begin with, but what's really noticeable is how much better he is at people. Like when you compare his old work, like his characters have such better proportions, clearer expressions, and there were even a few pages where I couldn't tell if it was a Matt or a Sophie page. And I think the fact that he not only improved at people, but he's like so closely doing Sophie's style of drawing people is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from that, I don't know if there's much else to say. It was still an enjoyable read. The training issue really is fun.
Yeah,
even on reread.
It annoys me that the girl's name is Mira because at work, when I would work as an aide in a classroom, we'd say Mira to the students a lot because most of them spoke Spanish mostly. And so every time it was like, Mira, look. And I was like, this is not Dora the Explorer. Stop it.
Nice.
But, don't be named Mira, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
My only other art note is on Mothra Gemini herself. We've talked a lot on other comics episodes about the difference between, good illustration and good design. And not only is this a beautifully rendered book, but this is like the pinnacle of character redesign. Like, I love the Mothra redesign. It's iconic, but it's still what you expect out of Mothra. While it's its own thing too. So they really crushed it on all these new designs.
Those claws on the front things, or whatever, arms, freaking sick.
Yeah.
Big old stabbers.
I love the owl sort of eyebrows, and I don't know what to call them. They're like horns. It's really cool.
Yeah, little like big feathers.
Those feathers. Yeah.
Imagine those big ass feathers. That's a big ass feather.
Yeah.
Could use it as one of those like comically large leaves that they use. Like old cartoons that were, like in Egypt, like would have the fan somebody. Yeah,
that's good too. It's good too. Yeah. Real quiet fan.
This book rips, and we don't have to add much else. We can move on to Keigen's pick.
All right.
Hello, here I am. My pick is Assorted Crisis Events. Let me go over to it. Let me go over to my book. It's written by Dennis Camp, drawn by Eric Zawadzki, colored by Jordi Belair, lettered by Hassan Otsmain Ilhau. Tom Muller designed it, and then the production designer is Wesley Griffith. This is certainly a comic. People are mad crazy about this comic, is what I'll say. People are mad crazy about it. People be saying this is like the most important comic. People be talking about this comic, but I do want to know before me and Lan get into a whole entire conversation here. Salt, did you read any of this?
Also, was this the comic that you didn't have time for, or was this the comic that you hated? Not for my sake, but for the audience's sake.
I didn't have time to finish both your comics. I started both your comics.
Okay. Well, the good news is you were never going to finish my comic, because my comic still isn't done at the time of this recording.
Yeah, there's a to be continued. It's extremely funny. I was like, there's no way 4 is the end of this, right? And then I was like, the 4 is not the end of this. That's pretty funny. How deep did you get into this book, Salt? I
got to the 3rd issue.
The 3rd issue? To it or through it?
Like through it, yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I feel like 3 is actually probably like the biggest discussion point as far as the whole series goes.
It's the densest read for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll explain my thinking around this is the Good Asian of this year. Listeners, if you've this is a term we have used for some time on the podcast, the Good Asian of X, Y, Z, whatever year.
Go listen to our episode about that. I think it's like episode 112 or 111.
Wow. And just to put it shortly, it's a book that's overhyped, and also I could point to other books doing the thing at least as good as it. Assorted Crisis Events is really one of the easiest books to do this with, because I think Camp is writing 2 other books that are better than this one right now on a monthly basis. You could go read either one of them. They're both better. Absolute Martian Manhunter and Ultimates, I think, are both better than this book, for different reasons, but also similarly because like Ultimates has the same kind of structure as Assorted Crisis Events. A little bit, it has more of the ongoing plot, but it's still basically a series of one-shots. And so that's like my number one thing about this book, and why I wanted to bring it, to talk about it, to see if like what were your guys' reactions to this. Since we already grilled Salt a little bit, I'll let him sit there and Lan, now that you got the chance to assess Assorted Crisis Events as the good place of 2025. What do you think?
Good place.
Yeah,
the Good Asian. I'm sorry.
See, that's the white in you. That's the white in you coming out.
I mean, the Good Place is better than the Good Asian. So
Michael Schur taking over your mind as we speak.
That's the homie. Fan of
Fan of what?
I can't. Scoregami. Fan of Scoregami.
Fan of Scoregami. Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he likes Scoregami.
Much to think about is honestly my take with this book.
That's really good. That's like the Letterboxd funny review. Is much to think about.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. You are right. In that both Absolute, Martian Manhunter, and Ultimates are doing a lot of the things that this comic does in a much better fashion. For one, the single.
Oh, no.
Sorry. That's what this comic does to me.
It's the smoking, you know?
Yeah. For one, the single issue story with a overarching narrative thing is done much better in both of the other books. I think by the end of this volume, I still didn't have a solid idea of what exactly the overarching narrative was.
Right.
Each issue felt very Aesop-y.
Right.
And that's not necessarily a derogatory thing. It's just that,
it's something. It's something.
It is something, yeah. I think more than anything, this is a comic about living in the current moment. And that's also something where the quality of that assessment, that assessment varies heavily from issue to issue. Yeah. I think in terms of standouts, we'll talk about issue 3, but I did like the 4th and the 2nd issue.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I liked it more or less, but I think of the ones that stick in my mind, it's those middle 3, and the 1st and the 5th, not so much.
Yeah.
Other thoughts would be the art's fantastic. Zawadzki's doing some truly phenomenal work.
And I feel bad not calling this the best comic of the year just for his sake, because he's been grinding for so long on the weird, like, not even at Vault, right? Like the weird little self-published things and weird little tiny outfits for years, for like a decade, and so I'm happy this is a success. I'm happy that they've said, like, hey, we've made enough money that this thing is just driving itself now, so we can take long breaks between arcs and he can keep working at it, and that's cool. And he really is doing some fantastic things here, and I don't like he's doing insane work on this book that should be like, it should be appreciated, I think.
Yeah, and Belair's colors are fantastic as always. Like, on talking purely art, I think this is the best of the 3. Now the story, see, like it really does vary from issue to issue.
Yeah,
where like one issue, I'm like, okay, I see what the point of this comic is. Like, not just the specific issue, but like the series. And then I read the next issue and I'm like, nah, you lost me again.
Yeah, the lack of overarching things, I don't really know what that it's a criticism of it from me, or that it's just like a thing, you know? But like, I think it stops me from grabbing a hold of it and being like, I'm going to follow this forever, right? And I've talked about that with my LCS even, because I dropped it after issue 5. I was like, I don't need this in a long box, man. Like, I don't need to have this in print. Yeah, like, I'm just going to end up getting rid of it at some point, you know?
I think it hits different when it's read as a volume too.
Oh, for sure. Because
in a volume, you're like, okay, I expect a full narrative from start to finish, right? Like, even with Ultimates, those first 6 issues, very unitary, but at the end of the day, by the time you get to issue 6, you're like, okay,
something's got to happen.
An arc has been told from issue 1 to issue 6, and there's a definitive like ending, a break point there. Here, it really doesn't feel like that's the case. Like, issue 5 ends, and I was actually expecting an issue 6, and then I turned the page and it was the back cover. So, yeah. All
right, I want to take a short break to talk to Salt. Salt, what are your feelings about this book? What are some notes you took on the first 3 issues?
Okay. I'll go issue by
Actually, you know what?
issue.
Salt, I just want to say I sympathize with you because I realize now what the 3rd issue was.
Yeah.
And like how exhausting that must have been for you.
Yeah. We'll get into that too.
No. This is part of the homework. So I'm really happy he got to 3 because I think this is something I felt when it came out. So like I wanna unpack this.
All right, I'm gonna start with art because that's where I have the most praise. This really strikes this nice balance of feeling like a sophisticated, dark comic book you would have to buy at a comic shop or a bookstore, while also feeling like something out of the newspaper. The limited color palette helps in that respect as well. It and everything just feels grimy as it should.
Yeah, totally.
There's this. Everything feels kind of like wet or smelly, like that's hard to do. So, really terrific work on all the design elements. My main beef with this book is how incongruous it all is. This art, this coloring works for an appropriately dark story, but the trappings of DC and Marvel Comics stuff really holds us back, and it doesn't need to be there. For example, it's hard to talk about these separately because of the relationship the issues have to each other. The first 2 issues do not need to be remotely sci-fi to work. They're much stronger as more straight dramas. Like that first issue, this woman's in a neighborhood that is being abused for a film set, like clearly no regulations, all these shenanigans are allowed to happen because of wild producers and directors. The sci-fi stuff doesn't add to that at all. Like I think that's a great story on its own. Same thing with the next issue. That was the strongest issue of the issues I read. I think it's this really powerful story about a butcher. Animal rights stories are all well and good, but also thinking of the people who work in these horrible slaughterhouses is an element that goes under inspected a lot. And I thought his story as a Latin American was solid. Again, did not need that sci-fi element. So when you do get to the 3rd one, right, and we're like really deep in the sci-fi stuff, the Marvel DC shadow over it all like really started to hurt this concept. It's already got this title, Assorted Crisis Events. It feels like a nod to Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then you've got the one guy in the town saying like, the Earth 2 version of our city is merging with ours. What happens when there's Earth 3, Earth 4, Earth 616? And it's like, come on, dude. Like, what is this adding? What is this Marvel stuff adding to this very dark, grounded sci-fi story you've got, man? I could go on, but I think you get my gist with this. The writing is just really confused about what it wants to be.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I mean, I think the most annoying thing about this book is the title. We've done this, man. We did like Gotham Central did this stuff with broken reality and the normal people who are lost in the shuffle, right? Like
Jessica Jones, the 2017 Jessica Jones comic that Bendis and Gatiss did this.
Exactly.
And issue 3 feels, here's what I'll say. Issue 3 feels like what the thesis statement for this comic was supposed to be from the start. Everything I'd heard about this comic presupposed that the entire comic would be like issue 3. And it was only when I hit issue 3 that like the name, the intent and everything clicked into place for me.
Issue 3 is really really difficult.
It's a lot.
It's almost like putting all these like headlines in a blender. It's like there's kind of like an immigration thing going on here. There's kind of a Zionist colonial angle. There's kind of a Trumpian thing going on, and I'm like, what for?
Yeah. It's like every headline of the current moment kind of wrapped into one issue.
And like that's part of this too, is this is a very Twitter brained comic. And social media, right? Even, you could call it TikTok brained at this point. I think there are way more people getting brain news brain rotted off of TikTok at this point than Twitter. That's where you go for child pornography now. So TikTok took the
one-stop shop.
Yeah, X the everything app. But like this feels like the peak of that too. And like it's funny, Lan, you were talking about like comparing it just internally to his own books. But the other thing is like the book, I loved Monkey Meat this year. Like I read that weekly or monthly as it was coming out, and I was like, this is fun as fuck. Like this is a cool kind of pseudo superhero thing that is kind of doing the capitalist point, poking fun of it in a really fun way, and like doing these fun, cool things in the same exact zone. And it wasn't as annoying as Assorted Crisis Events.
To me, because even within this same comic, the previous issue did a far better and more succinct job of doing what issue 3 was trying to do. Mm-hmm. Like there's the immigration angle, there is this, the psychological angle, and then of course there's a sci-fi bit, but like that doesn't play until the very end, right? Which, of course it could be jarring. You could also go the entire issue without having to do that, but like it strikes me as a lot more, I don't know if genuine's the right word, but it feels a lot more pointed than the third issue does.
Yeah, I feel like going back to things Salt was saying, I feel like the sci-fi stuff I'm fine with. Like I feel like that's Twilight Zone kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like even the Velociraptor showing up, the actual idea of the crisis of like these people's lives are constantly ending and they're having to learn to relive, and like having that very literal metaphor of the world literally ending is like, I get it. Some writers are cowards. Fine. 3 is just this weird thing of like, it's so Morrison. It's so very clearly Marvel and DC shit, and that echoes in a worse way. It goes through
all the beats too. All the beats. Man kills his other first world counterpart and takes over for his life. Man has a different relationship in Earth 2 than he does in Earth 1.
Mm-hmm. It's very tropey.
Yeah, like it hits on all the beats. And I guess
the headlines,
part of that,
it's like all these things that are so easy to recognize. It's the pattern recognition, and it's just like it's weird, it's jarring. Especially because
is it my fault for
like
having a monkey brain? Is it? I was reading that entire comic. I'm like, am I a stupid monkey brain idiot boy baby?
Well, my theory on this book was that it feels like something that Camp sat on for a long time, because certain writers have these seminal works that they come across in their youth, and that they immediately, involuntarily even start thinking of like how they would follow it up, right? So to go like, wow, Crisis on Infinite Earths, what about all the regular people experiencing that? And it feels like he sat on it so long that he didn't want to do the superhero element anymore. But he didn't know how to divorce this from that aesthetic. I don't know what you call it, that narrative. And this would have been so much stronger as either like a psychedelic drama or a sci-fi drama without any references to Marvel DC nonsense.
Yeah, just keep that part of the multiverse stuff totally separate. Like even multiverse, you don't need multiverse in order to do Crisis. Like especially the way the first issue is presenting it. Again, I get that the association is going to happen, but if the first issue is just showing like, hey, crazy shit happens in this book's reality, and just like experience it, and it's a metaphor for life or whatever, that's one thing. Then if it like the way it leans into it so heavily in issue 3 especially, but even I think it's peppered throughout, so like I didn't do a real crazy reread of this for the podcast. Like I went through and like I speed read it basically, and like took notes and reminded myself, because these are very memorable things too, but I'm sure there are like a million tiny references that are just like, okay, yeah, thank you, yeah, okay, Spider-Man, cool, Batman, all right. And I think that is a aesthetic issue of the thing.
Yeah, like if I'm the publisher of this book and I'm trying to figure out how to market it, and obviously we have to assume that's what a publisher does, and that's not always the case, but
Shouts image.
Shouts image.
But if I'm a comic shop owner, right? Like,
right.
This book is going to appeal to someone who reads a lot of really indie stuff, either like a Dan Close book, a Fantagraphics book, an Image book. This is for somebody who does not care about superheroes, and that's fine. So
yeah, it's really
weird.
It's really funny to think of marketing this to someone who like, hey, are you tired of DCKO? You should read this.
Yeah.
I mean,
you said something that actually knocked a thought loose in my brain. The idea that like he's been sitting on this idea for some time, and it reminded me like, yeah, Dennis Camp used to be like a critic, right? Like he used to write for
this makes so much
his
sense.
the letterer of this book actually, and that got me thinking. Oh yeah, Maxwell's Demons, that whole time, that whole era, and in that sense. I think the realization that I'm having right now is like, this doesn't feel like a 2025 Dennis Camp book. This feels like a 2021 Dennis Camp book.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And maybe my reticence is partly due to that.
Yeah, I will say, good for him on releasing it when he's at his hottest. Good for you. You did it. You absolute Martian Manhunter is great. Rode Batman's coattails right to like 7 printings or whatever of issue 1. Fantastic. And this book sells well. Those people that Salt you're describing, they are finding this book. So like it's happy it's a success. Genuinely everybody who works on this book seems like a really lovely person. Also, like all of these people seem nice. Maybe
it doesn't make me mad or anything. It's just
it's
kind
not
of
like
a
morally
confusing
disgusting
thing to look at.
No, again, it's crazy because I'm like, I can look at this book and be like, this is a good book, clearly. Like, this is a good book. But also, it's a good Asian, man. It's not as good as you're fucking saying it is, bro. Like, so that's why it's bewildering. It is weird to look at. And it confuses the senses. But I'm happy we all came to the same conclusion. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited! Like I'm right. Fuck
and not
you.
even and we didn't all have to read the same amount of issues to come to that same conclusion.
It's so true. I've read
thing.
7, so we all have read different. Actually, 6 is pretty good. 6 is pretty good. 6 could be like. It wouldn't crack my top 10 of the year, but I thought about it. I thought about what if it does. 6 is real good, but
I didn't get 6 in the collection.
No, it's past it's after the collection. So
now, would you consider 6 to be a good start to a volume 2?
The thing is, seemingly your issue with this book is similar to mine, which is that there's not an ongoing plot at all.
I mean, it's not necessarily an issue, but I think it does turn itself into an issue. Like, I guess it turns itself into an issue when you start collecting it.
Yeah, and it's not giving me a reason to stay. Also,
right? Like, if I was reading this on,
like, I could just drop it whenever I want.
if I was reading this as an ongoing comic, I'd have no issue with the fact that there's no narrative, right? Because it's just a thing that I'm reading every month. You know, like I'm picking it up like I would a newspaper.
Right.
But then, you know, there is, in my mind, something a bit more permanent about a trade paperback. So when you're collecting it,
yeah, that makes sense.
Suddenly it takes on a different meaning, like a different life.
My answer to your question, though, without telling you what your brain is thinking, is I think every issue is that, because there's no reason to start reading. I mean, I think you should read the first issue first, but then it's just like doesn't matter at all where you go with it after that. So like it's fine to pick up 6. You did not have to read 4 or 5 if you wanted to read 6. 5 is visually a banger, I think.
Some really cool like artistic layouts going on there.
But like 6 is a cool basically standalone issue. I don't think any of them have really referenced each other besides the guy on the cover of one,
old
the spaceman.
You know, whatever. I'm cool. I feel like I'm a lot more chill with the old guys deal than I am, say, the lady in the red dress from Department of Truth.
Yeah.
You know, every time every time the old guy shows up, I'm like, nice.
There's our tag. If anybody shares this with Dennis Camp and tries to put something on the trade, we say at Midnight Grappler Animals, Assorted Crisis Events, better than Department of Truth.
Facts. Make sure you put facts in the pull quote.
But the emoji though, the fax machine emoji, not the word.
Exactly.
That's where we
There's
land.
Your pull quote for volume 2, buddy. Yeah.
It'll you know what? They got time. We could do this.
Yeah. Listen. Stop taking pull quotes from those chumps at those legacy institutions. There's only like 2 of them left. You don't want a pull quote from the comics beat on your comic. You want a pull quote from Midnight Grappler Animals. All right?
It's true.
We're like a name that is marginally better than monkeys fighting robots. That's what you want on your comic.
Monkeys fighting robots, man. What a place.
Has never given a comic less than a 3, last I checked. Shout outs.
They call it the kiss of life.
You know, if you don't use any of the numbers below 3, that just means the 3 is a 1. You know?
Yeah, you know, like when a 3 out of 5 is the worst that you can give, that means your
3 is a 1.
3 out of 5 comic is the worst comic.
You have a smaller scale than me.
It's just a 1 out of 3.
I have a 7-point scale. Okay, I have a 7-point scale. You're using between 3 and 5. You're probably using all those half stars too. You got probably a 5-point scale with 3 at the bottom. This is just nonsense. I don't know how you live like this.
There we go.
Keigen has to explain how his rating system works on every time he has a pull quote on a book.
This comic is a 5 out of 7.
It's a 4 out of 7. But like a 4 out of 7 is fine. Like it's good. It's a good time. Like I'm not saying it's bad. It's fine. If we should be better, we should be happier with average, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Everyone should just be happier with average. Seek contentment and find the mountaintop.
You sounded like Yoda there.
Okay.
Yeah, you really hit the...
I went into the Yoda octave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The little gravelly nature there.
Leapt up all Muppety.
Yeah,
cool.
Frank Ozian, if you will. That doesn't really work. Frank Oz.
Well, of these books, I've made it explicitly clear I had no negative feelings towards this book. There was a book I hated, though.
Yeah.
Okay. If you'll recall, when we did this one Venom book recently, Lan said to Keigen, I hate you right now. I don't know why you made us read this. And that is not dissimilar to how I felt about this Spider-Man book.
Okay.
I am happy that I forced Lan to lock in on this one because his dumbass picked it. And I don't think...
And listen, for the record, Salt, I'm with you. I'm with you. 100%. I'm with you.
I thought about it
100%.
During recording moments ago, even I was like, you know what would have been a better pick? Would have been all new Venom. Actually, would have probably been a better experience. But your dumbass picked Spider-Man 94 basically as a joke. And
yeah, I did. I picked it because literally we were picking the comics, and I'm like, "Fuck, I don't have a pick for this. I don't have a pick for this." And so I just put it as a placeholder because it's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, but you waited so long to fill
And then I
the
waited,
placeholder.
and I didn't even fill the placeholder.
You didn't even
and
think
then last
about all new
episode,
Venom.
we talked about this in our last episode, where I'm like, maybe I'll choose something else instead of Spider-Man 94.
Yeah, but
and then,
Saul couldn't even finish Assorted Crisis Events. He didn't have time to read a whole other 6-issue mini or something.
Now hold on, you got through all 4 issues of this? Is that what I'm hearing, Salt?
Oh,
God, no.
Okay,
congratulations.
Because it would be honestly really crazy.
It's hard to put exactly into words, but like, there is a kind of book that like presupposes I already have this buy-in. It already has some continuity, right? And then there's like this really weird membrane around it where like my brain can't absorb the information. It's all just slides over me. That's how this whole book was.
It was so funny because for me, I have no experience with the cartoon, right? So
yeah.
it starts pretty much like where the cartoon leaves off, presumably. And I think the biggest shock to me, more than anything else in this book, was just how much of a bitch Anna Watson was.
She's awful.
Gosh. I have no recollection of Anna Watson being like this in anything that I've read of her.
Which, like, I mean, it's funny how much of the book is like
mean.
she's a bitch, and then the story continues, and everybody's like, she's kind of right though.
Yeah, the craziest thing is it's not just the fact that she's a bitch; it's the fact that the B plot of this book hinges around the fact that she is a bitch. Like Spider-Man's going through his shit, and then the B plot is MJ confronting Anna about how much of a pain in the ass she is, which like maybe there was someone who watched the original show that really wanted that touched upon, but man,
yeah, I didn't even register that character was in this book.
You may
or
Anna Watson,
her aunt Anna. Yeah, MJ's aunt,
who like raised her, I think.
Yeah. We've done pretty well talking a lot about art in this episode, so I mainly want to talk about the weird art in this book. Why does it look like this?
Why does Peter always look like he's smelling the poop he's taking right now?
Yeah.
Okay, MJ's got a crazy nose in some of these panels. Actually, the noses in general are something.
I almost feel like the coloring makes this so much worse. Like everything feels so plastic with this coloring choice.
And I wonder if that's the point. I wonder if that's the point.
That's where he's smelling his poop. Salt.
Yep. That's like mid-retch. He's retching. Like
that's not even Peter though. That picture I posted. So for people listening, I posted a picture with someone doing the like pug meme with
that's
the
Aunt
eyes.
Anna.
Yeah,
that's Aunt Anna.
Oh, that's Anna. I'm sorry I misgendered you, Anna. The same face is pretty debilitating in this book though. Like they all have the same face.
I do like how everyone has a nose job in this book. Every single person. This is the universe of Botox and liposuction, I guess.
Well, it's the 90s, but now it's the 2020s. Yes. So they gotta update the look.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I honestly though, on the side, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what the actual popularity of this book is. I have no idea what humans are clamoring for this book.
I do. It's guys my age. It's guys like.
Oh yeah, I know exactly the audience. I've met them before.
I'm not saying the individuals. I'm saying like what the group amasses to be. Right. I'm saying like how many people. Right. Yeah. but like
it's a lot.
This is the book you put bad artists on to grow, though. Like, that is my thinking anyway. If I'm running Marvel Comics, this is where I'm like, man, I gotta put fucking, what is his name, Jim Tao on something. And in that way, I'm like, this is where Messina should be. Like, Messina would be an upgrade on this book. You know, like. And in that way, it's like, yeah, this is a professional company and people should be professional artists level and fair to criticize it too. But I'm also like, I think these kind of books should exist for people to be able to
be fair,
kind of
they
define
did do
their
that
style and stuff.
They did do that with the previous books that J.M. DeMatte did. Well, I guess there's only the one case I could really think about, which is the Shadow of the Green Goblin, which had art from Michael St. Maria, I believe his name is.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Magneto one had Todd Knock. And you know, Todd Knock always needs he's always in need of some freshening up, I guess, some refreshing. You know, get some exercise for his fingers, I guess.
It's cold wherever he lives. It's always cold. He keeps the house very
in my mind, Todd Knock lives in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
I don't know where he actually lives. I don't know where he's actually from. But in my mind, mentally, he's in the Pacific Northwest. He's got a quarter zip on right now. He's probably working on some kind of cover for, I don't know, Daredevil maybe. Mentally, that's where he's at in my mind.
Something Keigen said that got me thinking was like, you know, what is the audience for this like? Like how well could this really have sold? And perhaps the point of this is that Spider-Man is so successful anyway that he's like one of the few characters you can really take risks on if you want to. And maybe the idea is, well, this isn't going to make a lot of money, but if it makes enough money, then it might be worth making like more Spider-Man animated legacy stuff. I don't know, like a Disney streaming thing.
I mean, it's cope as well, like for folks that didn't get that. Like, is there a Spider-Man Unlimited comic? I don't know, but there probably will be if there isn't already.
Right, it could justify that as well.
Right, because like for a lot of people, you know, it's following up something that didn't get a proper follow-up before, like with the X-Men 92 comics, right, back in 2015.
And the cartoon.
And the cartoon, sure, but like before the cartoon was a thing, you know, you had the comics to follow up on that. And a similar case, you know, here where it's like, I forget what the terms that the cartoon ended on were, but I think it might have been canceled if it didn't end properly. Also, GM DeMatte did something similar with Justice League Unlimited over at DC like a year or two ago. So like the equation wise, everything makes sense, you know, and again, the audience, like, I know for a fact that the audience is there. I've been to my local comic shop and I see people picking this book up and I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of people that like your average Ben Percy comic appeals to.
Excuse you. Excuse you. That's two different. I actually disagree. I think those are two different groups. Like, there's obviously overlap, but like, there's going to be overlap between like Spider-Man. This book, people who are reading this book
not
read
Ben
a
Percy.
lot of comic books.
You know what? I'll retract that statement.
Answer.
I'll retract that statement.
Like,
not Ben Percy, Steve Orlando, and Steve Fox.
Sure, that makes more sense. But like, this person reads a lot of comics is also the thing. They're reading the whole Absolute line. They're reading the whole Ultimate line. Actually, they probably dropped one of those two because something pissed them off. They're reading Green Lantern for sure. They really like Philip Kennedy Johnson. His whole maybe scares them a little bit, actually. Like, this person reads a lot of comics and has a lot of opinions about comics, you know,
this person dropped Absolute Batman because they saw the
Daniel Warren Johnson
strangling the ICE agent, and they're
which
like,
is sick. Yeah.
They're like, well, I have a cousin who works for ICE.
Oh, they saw GFM's post about Charlie Kirk, and they're like, "I'm dropping all Batman. I'm dropping all the DC books." And then when she got fired and Red Hood got canceled and returned back to DC, they were like, "Make mine DC." Yeah.
I think we're forgetting one piece of the equation here, and that's Dynamite Comics. I feel like whoever's picking up Spider-Man 94 is also picking up like
books for sure.
Not just the titty books, not just the titty
but
books.
The covers are titty books.
Thundercats.
Oh, I bet
whatever,
you there's a titty
all
cover
the nostalgia shit they're doing over there. Yeah, like Biker Biker
What's the shark
Mice
one?
from Mars.
Is that a Dynamite too?
Yeah. Gargoyles.
Street Sharks.
Yeah,
they're definitely buying gargoyles.
They're definitely buying gargoyles.
Yeah. There's an Arrested Development kind of comics person who buys these books. Like,
for sure.
And just psychologically,
that's
I'm
the majority of the market, though. Is like if they're not buying it specifically for speculation, they're buying it specifically because it appeals to that Arrested Development. And publishers know this too. CB Cebulski, Dan Buckley, they know this for sure. That's why they've got Steve Orlando and Steve Fox writing comics, that are selling. It's not because they write good comics. Trust me. Trust me.
Please believe me.
Please do not test it for yourself. All right, you're just gonna. It's the dead pigeon. It's the dead pigeon in the bag all over again. You're gonna be like Jason Bateman. You're gonna open up the bag and you're like, shit.
What did you expect? Yeah, that's literally okay. You know what pissed me off the most about this book, though? Like, actually, all of the other things. True. All of these things piss me off. Oh, the first Moreland on the first page
is hilarious.
It made me
just
so mad.
Funny.
I hate that guy.
Funny.
I hate him so much.
You could retrofit into this,
and we're doing clone shit too.
X-Men 90. Listen, X-Men 97 tried to bring like bits of Genosha and like the Morrison stuff into it. That makes sense. It's just really funny that for this comic, in the 30 some years that have passed since the cartoon ended, the most significant thing that J.M. DeMette thought of adding to this book to like try and bring it up to speed somewhat is the Moreland shit. And specifically the J. Michael Straczynski era of Moreland shit.
So bad. And then it's so funny when Craven shows up.
Oh, so it's hilarious. Redoing Craven's Last Hunt.
We're bringing Craven's Last Hunt happens in this comic somehow. Can you believe that?
And it oh my god, it's so funny because Craven's Last Hunt happens on two fronts, and neither of those fronts interact with each other because you have Spider-Man.
The Rat-Man gets eaten.
Yes,
also,
and you have Spider-Man breaking out of the cocoon, and Craven is not there. Craven has nothing to do with that. It's just
crazy.
It's hilarious that this book exists because I'll say this. I enjoyed J.M. DeMette's other comics because before this, like the one he did with Ben Reilly, Shadow the Green Goblin, even Magneto, 4-issue minis, and they were
just kind of dancing in continuity.
Yeah, they're dancing in continuity. It's just him going back to a specific period of time in these characters' lives and saying, let me do something introspective. Let me do a character study of this character in this moment of time, and it worked all three of those times. You got a good character study of Ben Reilly, you got a good character study of Peter Parker. Very early on in his career, and you had a good character study of Magneto when he was leading the school, right? There's none of that here. I'm sorry, is Anna Watson, is that supposed to be like the character study?
It's funny because Anna Watson is a funny thing here because I've talked a lot about how adaptations and stuff are opportunities to optimize, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like you can do anything. This is the next part of the animated series, and it doesn't exist anymore. Very funny that Peter and MJ get back together completely off panel. Also, when that is apparently the cliffhanger of the whole show. She's lost forever. I think so.
Oh, and the comic literally starts on him picking her back up, and then there's an editor's note that says we are going to follow up on this.
We'll tell you about this. Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's what exactly happened to get her back from whatever portal she was trapped in or whatever. But like, yeah, none of the optimization stuff is happening here whatsoever. It's like completely random, weird, trying to play the hits, and then Anna Watson is like the most meaningful change that's going on. And it's like, you just made an old lady a bitch, bro. Like, what do we?
Well, apparently, reading up on some of the fan reactions, apparently she was a bitch in the original cartoons too.
Okay.
Now, Saltz, I don't know if you remember if this was actually the case or not.
No, here's the thing. Here, this is what I find so revolting. My brain threw a lot of that information away. I hadn't thought about this cartoon in decades. Like, there's something sickening about watching a cartoon when you're like 7 or 8, whatever. You get to the last episode, you're like, oh, they didn't really finish it, whatever. Like, for you to think about that for a few years, maybe even into your teens, that makes sense. But your brain should be done with that by your 30s. It's not healthy to still care about that.
It's just really funny to think about the 40-year-old guy reading this comic going, oh, thank God we're addressing the fact that she was such a bitch in the original cartoon.
I'm so happy we're spending time on this right now.
30 years I've been thinking, oh man, I sure hope they give her a face turn.
We're always getting so many supervillain fights. He's always fighting the green guy. I just want him to sit down and talk about what a massive bitch that lady is, and also she reminds me of my ex-wife, I think.
Yeah.
And what's crazy too is it's like, this is Spider-Man. It's not like there's a paucity of representation of Spider-Man. It's like if the Spider-Man cartoon was the only Spider-Man media for decades, I might be a little more understanding. But it's like there's 7,000 other Spider-Man stories you could get in comics or video games or movies.
Oh no, yeah, even like the May knowing. Right? Like, not that this is an incredible thing that's only happened one time, but like Spider-Man PS4 just did this, right? That's the thing that's in the
comics that this book is pulling from. What's it called? The Moreland comics, right? Like the J. Michael Straczynski arc where Moreland shows up, features Aunt May finding out that Peter's Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. So then that's what it's doing too. But it's like it's just so weird.
How is that a reveal if it's been done so many times?
Yeah, like whatever. It's so like.
Wait, and I mean, we don't know. For all we know, that reveal could have happened in the cartoon.
That's true.
And we could be sounding like idiots because there's one of those 40-year-olds is listening to this podcast right now. Like, these fucking chumps.
Please,
these Zoomer
join
chumps.
the Discords. Join the Discord. Email us. Whatever you're comfortable with, honestly.
Send us death threats.
Send us death threats over email, though. Preferably over email. Or it gets lost in the Discord.
Okay. XD
Discord
everything
moves
app
too fast.
is for death threats now. So you go ahead and send it through DMs there. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, our Discord is just too active and things move too fast. So if you send us a death threat, we're probably not going to notice it. Like it's just going to get lost in the shuffle. People will be sending us death threats all the time and just whizzes past like it's
gone. The internet just takes it, gobbles it up.
It's just gone into the abyss. But I think that does speak to like the biggest issue with this comic, where it's like, is this satisfying for someone who has actually watched the cartoon and actually remembers it well enough to know what the plot beats that are happening?
The only thing I know about this show is that it sucks. I've never encountered a person who's like, this show was really good. Like, it's the third best animated superhero series in the 90s.
Yeah,
of 3.
To be fair, the standards.
4. Sorry, it's 4th because Superman the animated series is above it.
Yeah,
all I can tell you is it was a very cheaply animated show.
All I remember from it is shocker, because that clip always goes viral.
And Peter hitting the picture. Is that from the 60s?
That's Wolverine, though. That's from X-Men.
No, okay. He's sitting in his office, and there's an image of Spider-Man. It's
that's the
headshot.
60s. That's the 60s one.
So fuck you, 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
60s more culturally relevant.
You suck. You are the bottom. It's Batman the Animated Series, probably Superman, and then X-Men, and then there's 100 million gallons of bullshit, and then you're in the middle of that, of the bullshit, Spider-Man.
And here comes Silver Surfer with the steel chair.
Okay.
Just covering all our bases.
He had like half a season, I think.
Yeah, he had like 12 episodes. There's going to be like one 45-year-old listening to this. It's like, oh, thank God someone remembers.
Yeah. Marvel releases Silver Surfer 95.
Let's go. Silver Surfer just died, I think. I don't know if he died forever, though. Greg Pak, okay. Let us know on Blue Sky. Did the Silver Surfer die forever?
I promise I'll follow you again if you do.
I won't. I'm sorry.
I won't.
Yeah, I get his retweets enough. I'm following some lib that reposts his stuff all the time, so I don't even have to follow him.
Yeah,
nice guy.
Yeah.
The show was supposed to be forgotten forever. There was no reason to remember it.
Yeah. I think the worst part is I don't even know if I regret.
Oh no, this is lovely.
I think we needed this.
This is a success. I think we needed this. This is rain in California. Yeah, this is fantastic.
In terms of the character study, it turns out the real character study was on us this time. Bravo, Jim DeMatte. You've done it again. I'm a deeper person
now. Yeah, thank you for writing this bullshit. Which, again, he was really backed up. He's up against the wall because this show didn't deserve any remembrance or continuation anyway.
It's crazy because J.M. DeMatte is considered to be one of the greatest Spider-Man writers, and justifiably so. His Spectacular Spider-Man, fantastic. And like I said, the previous
Spectacular Spider-Man, as a fact, let that be a comic. I'm sure that would make more sense.
Yeah,
probably.
It's just a real perfect storm of bullshit, and I think the comics market should crash. Yeah. I think we need to crash the comics market. That's my resolution for 2026. I think that's the beautiful thing. This is catch up from 2025, and this catch up from 2025 is making me realize that for 2026, we need to crash the market, burn the whole market down.
You know what? As long as Poison Ivy is able to hit 50, then that's fine.
It's going to hit 49, just like Gozuger, which I've found out since we recorded our Tastebreakers grab bag, that the 50th season of Super Sentai isn't even making it to 50 episodes.
Shouts.
Shouts.
I mean, you need 3 weeks off sometimes,
If the comics market is going to crash, I know one part of the big crash of the 90s was speculators. I don't think speculators could really be a thing again, right?
I don't know, because
it's hard to say.
I feel like
the cancer is so powerful. The cancer of speculation and collectors mentality.
We're in a far more speculative time than has ever before. Everything is being speculated on. The government, whether or not
that took a whole different turn. I had no idea where you were going.
Think about it. Every single time, every single thing in life now, you got a Kalshi, you got a fucking rain
gambling,
bet,
folks.
I'm on Polymarket right now, seeing if the '90s Iron Man cartoon is gonna get its own comic.
I'm on Polymarket right now, actually betting on what we're going to choose for our Tastemakers grab bag.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Whatever you do not choose Heat Rivalry again. I got a huge parlay running on that.
There's no reason for me to pick it again. I already picked it twice.
I think the speculator market is too strong, and it's both hilarious and incredibly sad that the health of the comics market right now, as it stands, is so contingent on that. Like, the second that the speculator market truly crashes in an irreversible way, comics is fucked.
The thing about all that is it's tough.
Oh, the direct market's fucked. Sorry.
It's like I remember in like 2020, 2021, all the hobby markets were like, what the fuck is happening? The economy is down, but everybody's spending money on this idiotic children nonsense, right? Like Pokemon cards were gone. You couldn't buy them in shops. Digimon cards were gone. You couldn't buy them in like specialty shops even, right? And comics did the same thing. And I remember at that time, the comics market, the direct market swelled, became, worth more money. More money was being spent there, but an equal amount was being spent outside of shops and bookshops in selling and buying collectibles, right? They slapped comics, basically, an equal amount, right? But that's like, it's not 100% of shops that are making a good amount of their money doing that either. Also, all of that has dropped to some degree too, but it's just like everything. It's like there's a lot of factors. The speculator market isn't the thing that'll kill it, but it'll be part of it. There'll also be titles that don't sell well enough, and it'll be 50% of the line that's not selling well enough. Like their lines are so long now, so huge and swollen. Like I don't think Marvel has published less than 50 issues. What do you mean?
You're telling me no one wants to buy 16 individual issues of Tom Brevoort's X-Men bullshit every month?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Yes.
What the fuck? I hinged my kid's college on this.
It's crazy, man. Like, hey, wait, you're telling me that Age of Revolution isn't selling as well as Ten of Swords? Like,
what?
I don't. It's
crazy.
It's so bad.
Crazy.
It's so bad right now. And everything's being floated by Absolute Batman. Batman is keeping everything afloat. So,
and once the speculation market on that dies, then we're absolutely fucked.
It's crazy, dude. The numbers on that book is also crazy. That's my bad. Good job.
Thanks. No thanks. Don't thank me on that.
That was good.
This is a character study moment, all right? I need to build my own character.
Time for introspection.
It's time for introspection.
Turn on the cam.
And I think it's also time to start wrapping this episode up. Not because of my bowel movements, just to make it clear.
BM boy.
Well, that was our comics. No regrets on any front. A good range across the spectrum in many fronts. And I think before we wrap things up and before we do our Tastemakers grab bag, I gotta tell you something. If you enjoyed this episode, you can support us on patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. $2 a month gets you ad-free episodes. $5 gets you way more than that. You can go on patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals and read about all the things that we offer. If you can't do that, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your local comic shop owners, tell your 45-year-old comic shop attendees and customers to listen to us. If you want to talk to us, yell at us, send us death threats, all the links to that are in the description down below. And if you got comments, questions, or suggestions, you can go at midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com. That's the spiel. Let's do Tastemakers grab bag. Who's going first?
I can go first. I have not had much time to watch movies or shows because of all the homework.
Much.
Yeah, I do have a track I'm going to recommend that is thematically in line with one of them days, and it's called "Girl Get Up" by Doechii and SZA. It's a really funny diss track about Doechii telling everyone to fuck off who calls her like an industry plant. It's pretty sick.
Nice.
That's cool. Like Doechii.
That's all I got.
I'm gonna have a few because I can't decide, and I don't want to put any off because I don't want to. So first, Wrestle Heist, new comic by Kyle Starks. Kyle Starks. I think there's an S at the end. I haven't been like tapping into everything Stark's been doing lately. The last thing I really loved was the Pet Avengers comic, which was awesome, which is just a lovely book that I should buy. Actually, this is a reminder to myself. I want to buy that book. Wrestle Heist just came out in December, I think. It's a book that clicked with me so quickly, like within 8 pages, that I'm just like, oh, if this book went to 100 issues, I'd be following it. Like I'm here for it. It's really, really good. It didn't really catch me by surprise because I was already saying, hey, everybody, this is going to be the best wrestling comic ever made. Just so you know. No shade there. It's awesome though. Really, really good. Ask your shops about it if you have a comic shop. Definitely check it out. Yeah, it's rad. That's one. Now I have entered into the time of year where I watch a lot of YouTube videos at work, and I have watched a ton of the Adam Friedland show.
Oh my
God.
God.
Friedland show. Like a ton, like just hours. He's funny as fuck. Like it's great. I'm like in the middle of writing and I'm just like trying to quietly crack up in my cubicle because I'm just like it's really funny. Good, really delightful. If you're like you've seen the clips and you're laughing, it's worth it to just watch the whole episode. It really is. He's funny. It's great, and everybody knows he's funny, but like it's good. And I also want to introduce a new thing here, a new little bit, which is called people who Lan is funnier than, and I'm gonna put Adam Friedland on that. Lan, as much as I think Adam Friedland is an extremely funny guy, I think you're funnier.
Okay.
No, I'm saying it. Like, you're funnier than Adam Friedland, even though I love that show and I'm putting it in the grab. Lan's funnier. So take that compliment.
Heard it here first, folks.
Take it to the bank, and that'll be it for me. The delightful. Both things have brought me so much joy the last couple of weeks.
Nice. I've been on a huge movies kick. I've been watching a lot of movies, and I've actually been diligent enough to actually log them on the same day that I watch them this time, instead of building it up for like 2 months and then just rapid firing them all in like one sitting. So 3 movies from this week that I'm going to recommend. One is going to be Robot Dreams, the 2023 animated film. Made me punch the wall at how good it was. Thankfully the wall wasn't hurt. I was. Good movie. The second one I'm going to recommend is Freaky Tales. Freaky Tales. I like Freaky Tales quite a bit, actually. It picks up a lot in the back half, but the back half is just truly fantastic. And the third one I'm going to recommend is Bad Boys Ride or Die. Bar none, probably going to be the dumbest movie I watched this entire year. And I'm saying this only a week into the year. Probably is going to be the dumbest movie I watched all year. And it is incredible. It's got Rhea Seehorn. It's got Khaby Lame. It's got DJ Khaled. It's got Joey Pants in the Black Panther ancestral plane. It's got everything. So, yeah, I'm going to recommend that. That's it for me. That's my rapid fire recommendation.
Wait. Batman 5. Batman issue 5 came out. It's already immediately might be one of my favorite issues of the year. It's already, I know, beginning of the year, everybody's thinking about new issues and stuff like that. Like best of lists. The new year, people should be thinking about best of lists because they just came out and they're bullshit because they came out in like the first week of December. What? Nothing came out in December? Nothing? You didn't rank anything? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, Batman 5. It's the first like great issue of Fraction's run. So yeah, you should buy that one issue. It's fine. Fine if you're not buying the rest of them. But when you make a file at the end of the year in real life of the best comics of the year and you want the physical ones in print, you should go get Batman 5 for that, just in case it's that good.
Okay. Well, there you go. That was Tastemaker's Grab Bag. Folks, we'll be back next week with either miscellaneous picks or shows, depending on which we can actually finish first.
I think I'll get through shows.
Well, we'll figure it out. You'll find out at the same time as everyone else. So, thanks for listening. We hope you'll come back next week to see whatever the hell we have in store for you. And as always,
keep on grappling.
Sorry.
Oh no! Whoa.
Sorry,
that was
just
well
came out of
timed hold. You held it really well. Well trained.
Yeah, there's that one guy on Instagram who does like no what is it, like no sound challenges, where he takes like a huge hit, you know, and just tries to hold it in, and the entire time he's just like he's like trying not to cough. It's truly wonderful what the internet does for us in this modern age.
Okay.
Wow. Just
Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that.
Honestly, it was awful because usually today's the day that I go into work. Like I have to go into the office. So, because my manager is coming in from Ottawa tomorrow, I decided to not do that today and instead just go tomorrow. Because listen, if I have to do 3 days in the office, I'll do 3 days, no more. So I traded in, and then I had to deal with those fucking contractors all day. I was in meetings too. And it was just like Edgar Allan Poe type shit, you know? Except it wasn't my guilt.
Yes, as a person
my
physically
shithead neighbor landlord's guilt.
It was a person attacking the wall.
Yeah, hammering the fuck out of it. You know, my dad actually confronted the contractors the other day. And they, yeah, I know. And not in like a crazy way, you know. But, they're like, yeah, the reason why it's taking so long is just because the last family just completely messed up the house. And I'm like, that seems like bullshit to me.
Yeah.
That seems like a crock of shit. I feel like you're ripping everything out just for the sake of it.
Just to have
I seen those floorboards more expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
factoring whatever renovation costs there are into the next poor sucker's rent.
Rip.
Yeah. Maybe I should pull a Parasite or No Other Choice.
Okay.
Or,
check out the wall
third
space.
Korean film about killing people to take their value. Don't worry. They'll make another one, and then the West will be crazy for Korean films again.
Yeah.
For the fourth time in this decade. In this...
It just keeps going, you know?
Century, actually.
Koreans be filming, that's what we say.
Koreans be filming. Women be looking at films. I found that out recently.